You've just started your second decade together as a band.
Oh my God, you make me feel so old.
What do you think that has kept the band...
Don't I look good?
Yeah, you look great, Freddie. What do you think has kept the band together and so intact, the same personnel
Money.
for so many years? That doesn't seem to be the motivating force with many other bands.
Oh, we love the money.
Oh, okay.
If they say they don't like the money, they're talking out of their ass, to be honest. They really are. Money is part of it, yeah. But the other thing is also no, to be honest, on a serious note, well, we just want to make, we want to make our music, and just because you made lots of money and you're successful doesn't mean you've got to, that's enough. This is the hardest time for us. This is a big test. I mean, we've been in the business 12 years and our records still sell, and to keep it going that much further is hard. It's very difficult, and to be honest, I'm sure Brian would say, in the end, we want to be respected as musicians, and I don't want to change people's lives by the music. I just want people, after I finish, to say that, okay, Queen were a band that came out with good music, and people enjoyed their music and had fun. Mm-hmm. That's basically it, and I certainly don't want to give up now. I have nothing else to do. I hate this thing about people thinking, oh, well, we've heard a Queen album, let's go and see this, their stage show and see if it sounds the same. I mean, I think by now, people who come to see our shows know that it's not going to be exactly the same. We don't want it to be. How boring if we reproduce note for note what was on the album. They might as well sit at home and listen to the album with a few visuals thrown in. I mean, I'd like them to come and see that it's a show, it's entertainment, and our songs take on a different meaning when we do a stage show. So, I mean, what they hear on record can be totally different to what they hear on stage. I mean,
yeah, to me, it's the exact opposite. Like, I want to hear what it's going to sound like, how different it's going to sound live than the record itself. Like, I don't really get people that are like, I want to hear it exactly how it is on the album. Like, why? Like, I don't. Like, you might as well go to a club or something. Like,
deliberately do that, and we like that because some of the songs have that depth, I think, that where we can do it on an album, and when we do it in a show, we can totally twist it around, and we do what is best for the show. A song like "Love of My Life," which is a song from Night of the Opera. I mean, it's very classical and it's got lots of musical instruments on the album, and when we do it on stage, it's just me and Brian. I mean, Brian just plays an acoustic guitar, and I just sing it, and it's a very good song for rapport. I mean, I like to get the audience participating with me, and most of the time I let them sing the song because they're into that. So, I mean, I basically conduct that song, and I love the fact that they just sing it. So it's totally different from what they hear on an album.
People steal from each other in rock and roll a lot.
All the time.
Do you?
All the time, yeah. But there's stealing, and there's robbing, and there's sort of acts of murdering. So, I mean, it just depends. I mean, everybody steals. And sometimes you steal without even thinking it, That can be good. I mean, it's just... I don't sit down and listen to everybody and say, okay, I'm going to snatch that phrase or whatever. I mean, I can get influence. Like Aretha Franklin's phrasing is just wonderful. I wish I could sing like her. Her phrasing is just so beautiful. I mean, it's so effortless. And it's just... She just sings like a dream. It's just like she doesn't have to think about it. I mean, when I have to sing, I think about it. I think, okay, I have to and I sort of practice a few phrases and then do it. Whereas I can tell by just listening to Aretha Franklin's records that, I mean, she just goes and then it's effortless. Having said that, I'm sure she'd call me up and say, wait a minute, I go in there and do... No, but it just sounds so effortless, and it's all sort of spontaneous phrasing and things, which is what I love, and I sometimes try to do that.
Yeah, it's so funny. Like, all of us think, like, when we listen to people like Freddie and Aretha, Michael, Whitney, like, it's all just feeling and it's not practice. But, maybe it is a lot of practice and trying to get the right sounds and experimentation. And we're only hearing the final product after being comfortable with whatever the song or composition is. So that's very intriguing. I literally just said, oh, man, he don't even have to think. Prove me wrong. That's funny.
It's like a song called Somebody to Love. That was the gospel element. And when Aretha was doing all the gospel stuff, I just loved that. The big, humongous choir behind her, all sort of like tidal waves behind her, singing. That's what I liked. And that's one element of Queen, because, I mean, the multi-tracking harmonies and all that. There's various ways of doing harmonies, and the gospel side of harmonies is just stupendous.
It makes so much sense for him to be an Aretha fan. Of course he is.
Starting out or whatever, and I could sort of teach him a few tricks, but not Michael. I think one of the tracks would have been on the Thriller album if I'd finished it. But I missed out.
Man, that sucks. Imagine Freddie on Thriller.
Something with Michael Jackson that was not released yet. I think the song is even called Victory. Is that true?
That's right. Yeah. I've done like 3 tracks with him, and that was about a year ago, even longer than that. And yes, Victory was one of the songs, but he wanted to use the title for the Jackson thing. But the song is still there, and it's probably just waiting until the two of us get together and finish it.
You haven't finished it yet?
No, I mean, it's just because he has commitments, I have commitments, and it's very difficult. I mean, he's on tour, I'm going on tour, and you've got to sort of, it's very, very difficult when 2 different, musicians trying to get together. I mean, he has to do his stuff, and it's just that when I was spending some time in LA and we're friends, he said, "Oh, why don't we try something?" So, I mean, one day it'll probably be finished, and well, the other song is called State of Shock, which I did, and Mick Jagger's on it, but it's all okay because Michael called me up and said, "Look, I want to finish the song, I want it on the Jackson's album," and I said, "I can't come over because I'm in Munich." And he said, "Well, is it okay if Mick does it?" So I said, "Fine, songs are songs. I mean, as long as our friendship carries on, we can write all kinds of songs."
I love you, Michael, but you should have kept that drawing. This would have been, 84? So it would have been after Thriller. Just keep that for Bad. You should have kept that for Bad. Like, you, no disrespect, but, like, come on, like, man, Mike. Like, no disrespect to Mike Jagger, but, like, man, you should have kept that song. It just, imagine that would have been on the Bad album. It would have fit perfectly, too. That's the crazy part. I love Mike's version, Jagger's version, but just like, yeah, damn.
After that,
With what other people could you think of cooperating, like you did with Bowie and Jackson on this unreleased stuff? What are people who are
well, it
interested?
depends. I mean, I just I don't sort of think of those things. I mean, sometimes you just meet friends, and if you think about doing a song together, you talk about that. Otherwise, that's not what I think about all the time. I mean, Elton and I have been friends for a long time, but we've actually sort of said to each other, one day we probably go in there together and write a song. But it's better being friends. You know what I mean? Mm. And the thing about it is spontaneity. So, I mean, it's just, if it happens that we're talking and suddenly we say, "Oh, let's go in the studio and do it," that's the best thing. And that's what happened with David Bowie. He was just around. We were having dinner for a couple of days, and we were recording in the studio, and he just said, "Oh, maybe I'll come in and just see what happens." So it wasn't planned. If it is planned, then it's boring, because then and we were just going in there and fooling around to see what happened. And suddenly this song started taking shape, and we said, "Oh, that's quite nice. Let's work on it a bit." And the result of that was Under Pressure. So I'm not really, I don't get up every morning and say, "Okay, who am I going to work with today?" Those kind of things don't work.
How would you describe it?
That's crazy for y'all to just be like, "Hey, let's just see what's going to happen." Then you make Under Pressure? Geniuses, dog.
Yourself as an artist, would you say that you're a very organized person, very spontaneous person, or how would you say?
No, myself as an artist, I'm just a musical prostitute, my dear. It's basically that.
Organized or not?
Oh, who cares? Disorganized and organized. That's an asshole question to ask anybody. It's just, I don't know, I'm just me, I'm just me. I'm very disorganized at times, I'm organized at times, and I'm just me.
What emotions do you have when you see old stuff, for example, like you mentioned before, with long hair and black fingernails?
Or when I see myself?
When you see yourself.
Oh dear, I want to tear them all up. I just think, I actually laugh at myself. But I know that it was something that you have to do. I think someone like Boy George, in about 5 or 10 years' time, is going to look and say, "Oh my God, did I really look like that?" But he knows that it was relevant at the time, and it was right. And I think I don't regret any of the things I did. It's just that I laugh. I mean, what did you look like 10 years ago?
Horrible, yeah.
Do you look at your pictures? And
yes.
Oh, there you are then.
Yeah.
So I mean, I just think And it's a process of growing up, you know, it's experience, and I just think at this point in time, I think if I had long hair and fingernails and wearing the things, I would look ridiculous. I mean, I looked ridiculous then, but it worked. But it was all right then. So it's just growing up and gaining experience.
If you look at all members of the band, I know it's a difficult question, but what do you think every single member does contribute to the special chemistry that's Queen in the end? What
do I think what they give? Well, it's hard to sort of pinpoint those things, because I mean, we certainly have an ingredient between the four of us, otherwise it wouldn't have worked, especially for this long. And we all have a role to play, but I couldn't tell you what it was. I mean, it's just, the only thing I could tell you is that the reason is because we are diverse. We're four different characters coming from, and that's why I think it's worked. Not two of us are the same. I mean, so that, you know, we all like totally different things, but we come together. It's a chemistry that works. And I couldn't tell you what it was, because I mean, who can? It's just something that seems to fit. And that's what good bands are made of, you know. And we're good.
Okay, thank you very much.
That's the line, the end on. That was perfect.
I believe you should follow his Patreon. It has exclusive videos and content that you can only find in one place, on his Patreon. I think it'll be really groovy if you follow him and signed up today. If you don't, you'll be hit by a smooth criminal. No!
Now, you've called it Made in Heaven. Why did you call it that, Freddie?
Basically, I was lost for a title. Titles for albums are, as far as I'm concerned, immaterial. I think Made in Heaven, I didn't know what to call it. I mean, and before, I remember, you had concept albums, and then the name actually sort of had to fit. But now you just have what I think is a very beautiful track, and it's called Made in Heaven. I just think it seems to sort of just conjure up an image of some kind, and but to be honest, I'm not really worried about it. It's what you listen to that matters, not what the title is. Don't judge a book by its cover, you know. Mind, there's a beautiful photograph of me on the cover.
Oh wow! So first and only solo album was Mr. Bad Guy. Wow! So that's the only solo album he did. Well, we gotta listen to that. I don't know if I even heard anything else of this. What is I Was Born to Love You, Made in Heaven, Live Me on My Own, Love Me Like There's No Tomorrow. Yeah, I don't know any of the songs. At least I don't think so. Anyway. Yeah, we gotta listen to this. Interesting.
And what about Falling Around? Another track. How did that come about? What inspired that?
Fooling Around, yeah.
Yes.
Does he have an interview without him smoking or something?
Just, I wanted a track that was had a sort of a sexual element in it. It was, in terms of not in terms of lyrical content, but in terms of the rhythmic content, and that seems to have sort of a very sexual rhythm and very sexual vibe to it. And so I just wrote that in terms of saying I wanted a sexual rhythm song. That's the way that came about.
That's been taken up for a film track.
That's right. It's
the Nick Nolte.
Yes. They wanted a song in the film called Teachers, and so I gave them that one.
It was very generous of you.
Well, why not?
What about Living on My Own? That sounds very personal because you travel the world more or less in a gypsy style, don't you?
Well, that is living on my own. Yes, it's like basically it's if you listen to Living on My Own, it's living. That is very me. It's living on my own, but having fun. And then there's a bit in the middle where I do my scat singing, and I'm just going. And when you think about somebody like me, my lifestyle, I mean, I have to sort of go around the world and live in hotels, and that can be very lonely. But then I look upon it, and I don't want people to say, oh, you know, I just say that's my life, and it can be a very lonely, it can be a very lonely life. But I mean, I chose it, and so that song is not it's not dealing with people who are living on their own in sort of basement flats and things like that. It's my living on my own. So basically what I'm trying to say is that I'm living on my own, but I'm not complaining. I'm just saying I'm living on my own, and I'm having a boogie time. Basically, does that make sense, honey?
It does, yes, it does. So how
it's a different kind of living on my own, but I'm just saying that people in my with my success and can be lonely and can live on their own as well.
Another song, My Love is Dangerous, on the album. Is that a warning from you?
Not really. It's just well, a bit. Yes, that song is something that I feel that maybe that's what my love is. You know, I haven't actually analyzed myself and said, okay, my love is dangerous. I think after all these years, I just feel like you asked, and I don't think I can. I'm not a very good partner for anybody, and I just think maybe that's what my love is. I think my love is dangerous. I mean, who wants their love to be safe? I mean, can you imagine writing a song, My Love is Safe? It would never sell.
Yeah.
I like writing songs about love because, I mean, there's so much scope. And also, they have so much to do with me. They have so much to do with me. And you're going to talk about your kind of lover. It is something that maybe I'm striving for it. I'm trying to say that I can be somebody's lover, you know, a good lover. And that's another aspect of me, too. Ask me something different now, come on.
Well, we got to talk about another track, because that has an amazing section on it from the Munich Philharmonic Orchestra, Mr. Bad Boy.
Mr. Bad Guy.
Mr. Bad Guy.
Yes, Mr. Bad Guy, yeah, that's me.
What made you give it this treatment with the Munich Philharmonic?
Well, I wanted a song that had absolute full orchestration, because I mean, in terms of Queen, we've always wanted a song that had full, actually genuine, a proper orchestra that came in the studio. But we always seem to sort of, at the last minute, deny the fact that we wanted an orchestra, because, I mean, in a very genuine way, because, I mean, Brian could recreate the orchestra with his guitar, and so we always had that kind of thing. And we always missed out on it, and I think you can go through all the Queen albums and find out that there isn't one song that actually had a fully fledged orchestra. And I thought, right, I'm going to do it. I'll be the first one to, because I didn't have Brian playing on my songs, and so I thought this was a wonderful opportunity. So I just had the Munich Philharmonic Orchestra come in and just go wild. And that's the outcome. So, and I'm very pleased with that. So it was just very bombastic, very pompous, and very me. And I thought I'd turn it over to being Mr. Bad Guy, you know. And,
Like, I don't think it's impossible to go wrong with the orchestra. Like, is there any song with an orchestra that doesn't sound good? I think it's impossible.
just got these overtones of, you know, I can be loving and sweet at one time, and I also want people to realize that I don't think I have to ask them to realize. I mean, they know I can be bad, so that's another element in me as well.
It's a marvelous track. It really works well.
It's quite outrageous, yeah, and I think it's new for me as well, because I've actually allowed an orchestra to go absolutely mad rather than restrict them. I just said, play all the notes that you haven't played in your life before, and so they were all just went completely crazy, and so there's basically a world war going on that track. If my record reaches you out of Mongolia, destroy it, exactly, see? Destroy it, just like that. I mean, really.
That's crazy.
Well, Freddie, I knew you were explosive, but not that explosive.
I mean, really.
Did you know you were that explosive?
I can make a bigger bang than that, dear, I'll tell you.
A stage thing, which you had on the first tour in
Wow, this
Australia.
young Freddie.
When did that start to evolve on stage?
I think we had ideas from the very, very early stages. I think it just developed as we got to do more gigs and as we gained experience and things like that. I think there were a lot of ideas that we wanted to try out both on record and on stage. there's something that you can't do all at once. I mean, you've just got to be in the right sort of stage in your career to do larger things. Like you couldn't start off with a huge entourage of lights because, I mean, we weren't doing bigger venues. So you had to sort of like wait for your turn. But it came pretty quickly, I think.
Now, with Queen 1, Queen 2, Killer Queen, you were building up an immense album following with those albums. Then, and also, I mean, you're also breaking into the singles market in quite a big way. But with Bohemian Rhapsody and A Night at the Opera, I mean, that was the absolute breakout.
Yeah, well, that really tore the market up. Tore the market up and down, didn't it? I mean, it sort of, it just kind of got us a totally different, it got us to a very different area. I mean, the cross-section of sort of the public then was so different. I mean, we suddenly realised we were playing to mums and dads, and I mean, like, the people that were coming to see us were totally different. And I think it was a very good thing, because, I mean, we just sort of, it was just gathering a much larger sort of audience, really.
Yeah.
And it helped enormously.
Now, for an act that had been so visual on stage, and I'm still referring to the Bohemian Rhapsody time, suddenly, in that year, came one of the classiest film clips.
In terms of thinking of Bohemian Rhapsody as a record concept, I think we thought of it in terms of visuals as well. I could really picture that sort of song in sort of visuals. So I think when it came to doing the promotional film, I think it was quite easy, because people think we spent hours and hours making that film. In fact, it took literally about four hours, I think. The way we choose singles are sort of, they're album tracks, basically. I don't think we actually write a single and say this is going to be the single. And what we, I think, try and do is try and, with each album, try and work out what is, where our music is at the current given time, and try and showcase it in say, one single, in one sort of number. And that's what takes the sort of single format. With The Night at the Opera, we just felt that Bohemian Rhapsody was the song that would sort of say what we're doing at the given time. So we sort of chose that. Now, obviously, we came across certain barriers, like it being 6 minutes long or whatever, and we said, I mean, there were numerous rows. I mean,
well, the recording company wanted to, in actual fact, edit it.
Edit it and things like that, yes. And we just thought, there's no point. You either sort of hear it in its entirety, or pick another song. Yeah. And I think we were so sort of confident with that sort of number. I mean, it is a risk, I know, and we either thought it was either going to be an enormous flop or a huge success, you know, depending on.
Well, I mean, both the single and the album became, I mean, like, chart monsters. And I noticed that, in fact, Bohemian Rhapsody won an award the other day for one of the best compositions.
BPI, I think.
Yeah, for over the past 25 years. The pressure then on the group must have been immense to do the follow-up album, which was A Day at the Races.
True. I think people will, obviously, no matter how hard you try, will think of in terms of your past hits. That's inevitable. But I think it's up to the group and the musicians to really think in other terms. From my point of view, I mean, as far as the writing side of it was concerned, I really thought, I said, okay, Bohemian Rhapsody, big hit. But as far as my writing abilities were concerned, I think I could write better anyway. And I just looked at it from that point of view. I mean, I just went and wrote, from my estimation, I think a song like Somebody to Love is, in my estimation, a better sort of, from the writing aspect, a better song, you see.
I have to agree. Actually, yeah. I think, yeah, I have to agree with that.
But, I mean, it's very difficult, because obviously people think of sort of songs in terms of hits, obviously. Right. And then they will obviously say, well, Somebody's Love was not as good a song because it wasn't as big a hit. But it really depends on how you look at it.
I didn't quite know whether We Are the Champions was a sort of a subtle thing of saying, well, you may think, you know.
I mean, I think we always write songs like that. It really is up to the listener to make up its interpretation. I think it's nice. I think up to now, I think even now, it's got to a stage where we do it subconsciously, you know. I mean, and we write especially my songs, I mean, they don't state very categorically. I mean, they're very sort of, they can go into different sort of areas. And I like that, actually. I mean, it's a nice escape for me, from the writer's point of view, but I think from the listener's point of view, it's nice that they can make up different interpretations. So basically, if you ask me what it's all about, I would say it is tongue-in-cheek, and it's not to be taken too seriously. I mean, my God, I can't be serious.
No.
You know, it's something that I wanted to write a song that was very cold and calculated, and kind of to the point. And basically, it was a song of sort of participation. I wanted people to sort of participate. I was looking at it from the sort of the show point of view as well, how we were going to sort of do that. And I just thought, why... I wasn't going to sort of beat around the bush. I thought I'm going to be as blatant as possible.
Can I just interrupt there?
Yeah.
I remember also you saying last year that it was sort of like being... You might as well be in a jail, the time you were spending in the studios. And I notice here you've said, I've done my sentence but committed no crime, and bad mistakes, I've made a few.
Theatrical. That's all very theatrical.
Right, and then it keeps going, and then it says, which is probably makes a lot of people think, I've taken my bows and my curtain calls. You brought me fame and fortune and everything that goes with that. I thank you all. But it's been no bed of roses.
Yeah. It's my way of saying that to a lot of people, I mean, that's like a lot of people think being a rock and roll star is kind of going to a studio, making a disc, and then going around spending all the money, which I don't think it is. And I think, I know that a lot of people do realise that, but even at the same time, a lot of people don't. They think it's a very easygoing life. And I mean, like, a lot of people still think, when I say, oh, we're going to America for a tour, they think, oh, nice long holiday. And that's just my way of saying that it's not easygoing. I mean, God, I mean, don't for one minute think that it's all peaches and cream.
Now, may I ask you a couple of pertinent questions?
Oh, what are they?
The first one being like one of the world's top groups, and living in a country, well, I mean, it's true.
You going to ask me about taxis? Go on.
No, I'm not.
Thank God.
Living in London, with the punk rock craze coming along.
What's that?
Does it become a challenge, you know, in the sense where you're finding these amazing contrasts, and like you'll find the punk rock writers who will follow a certain stream and may try to put down the established top world acts of today. I mean, is it a challenge to you and the rest of the guys?
It's always been a challenge. You know.
That was going on in the 70s? Okay, I'm trying to think, like, who would that even been?
I mean, it doesn't matter what, even if there is a new movement, or call it what you want, there's always a challenge. I mean, take for example the charts today. I mean, at the moment, I feel there's enormous competition with just the established acts. I mean, there's ELO, there's ABBA, there's Rod Stewart. So, I mean, you know, there's always competition, and we're never going to sort of... I'm never one for resting on my laurels, really, because I always know there's that competition, and that's what keeps us, you know, keeps the driving force there. Well, but with the new stuff, I think it's all healthy. I think there's always going to be a kind of a new movement, because, I mean, that's how we started.
Can I be bold to say that then I think it almost brings the cunning out in you? I think you almost enjoy it.
Oh, yes. I mean, the day where we sort of say that, well, we're the greatest or whatever, I mean, there you are, we're the champions. I mean, it's not meant to be taken...
But one could almost look at it that way as well.
Yeah, I mean, we certainly haven't hit our peaks. I mean, there's always... You've got to keep going. I think there's so much we still have to do. I'm a big ham, really. I just get on that stage and do it. I don't really take myself that seriously. Not anymore. There was a time where, in the early days, where our music was very pompous and very serious, and people thought, oh God, what a load of bores, you know? And at that time we were getting a bit serious. Everybody is serious to a point, but after 10 years, you know, you've got to kind of ease off a little, and I personally just have a good time just fooling around on stage, you know. And that's why I'm not afraid to sort of fall flat on my face, because, I mean, you know, coming out with some of the things I wear, sort of over the top. I mean, they have an element of humor which I hope comes across. That's basically what it is now. And if I'm seen to be having fun on stage, I think it kind of comes across, which is good. You can get very blasé with the public, you know. Sometimes, you know, you've sort of built up your public and they only want you for a certain thing. And that's the wrong way to go about it, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, they should be aware of what you want to do. You know, you can fall into a trap where you build up a sound or whatever, and then in the end, that's all they want. And you're then manipulated by a public. That's the last thing I want to do. it's a knife edge that I like to tread on, which is good. The danger element is exactly what we need. And right now, you know, in a way, telling them that this is what we're doing right now, even though we do all the other stuff that they like, is great for me because it makes you work harder and you just feel, it makes you keep on your toes. Otherwise, it would be just too easy. I couldn't get any more theatrical. I just think that's the way I want to perform, you know? It's grasping a song and delivering it the way I feel, you know? I don't like sitting on a stool and doing a whole performance. At the same time, I don't want to sort of run around all the time. I like to pace myself depending on what the song content is. So, I mean, there are ballads, there are bawdy songs, there are certain songs that demand a lot of energy. And I want, you know, apart from just the singing energy, a lot of visuals, and I think, you know, I need to do that.
Do you see how we like to translate theatrics into film?
Not really. A lot of people ask me that. If I wanted to, I could have done it a long time ago. I feel that at the moment, there's a lot of things that I'm doing within Queen that keeps me happy. And as far as being an actor or whatever is, forget it. I don't. You know, if I want to do anything, I'll do it properly, and I mean, I need to really feel interested in it. And a lot of people do it because they think, oh, right, they've done 2 or 3 years in rock and roll to become successful, let's be movie stars. That's not my bag. You know, at the moment, I'm quite happy doing what I want to do. It's very creative at the moment. I mean, what we're doing within Queen is my creative output is, within that is enough for me. It's going well. It's going very, very well, and it's getting better every day, you know, because I think it's a new tour, and we're learning a lot after every show. And then I personally take a lot of, you know, do a lot of research after every show to find out what's going on, right? Especially like the lights we were talking about before, and to make sure that because I mean they're very sophisticated lights, and they can do so much more. And I think every day I learn something, you know, I ask the lighting man to do something new, and also we're interjecting the show with new songs. So every time we do a new song, we have to have a new light thing. So I think I ask him to try and do different things every day. So I don't know. I mean, you've seen the shows before, but I don't know if you find them different. But I mean, the light cues can be different, you know, forever. I mean, you can have a new show every day if you wanted to.
Actually, how long did you rehearse for this show? I mean, it's very
we rehearsed for a week in Los Angeles, for 2 weeks. So, but basically, it was all on technical things to make sure that the lights would work. But even then, we didn't really rehearse that much, and we didn't have time to rehearse the new songs, because basically we were, you know, trying out the lights and also trying to introduce the new keyboard man. So we had to try and find out if the new songs were going to work with an extra musician, because we'd never done that before. And so most of the time was taken up by that. So we didn't have time to do the new songs, really.
We recently spoke to Mac in Munich,
Yeah.
in the musical studios. What do you think of him? I mean, you work for quite a long time.
Well, Mac is an absolute genius. He's an absolute genius. I think I personally wouldn't want to work with anybody else. And if I was doing any solo projects or anything outside the format of Queen as well, I would use him. What did he say about us?
He said exactly the same.
Did he?
about
Oh, that's
you.
good.
Yeah, exactly the same. He said you want to do it quick, you know, very
So he
spontaneous.
said, oh, that's good. Also,
It's really...
the rapper was good.
So it's now the 10th anniversary of the band officially.
Yeah.
Is it hard today to last for 10 years or?
Oh yes, I mean, I tell you, and touch wood. We've been very lucky, and I must say I didn't really think we were going to last that long. I mean, you never think about it that way. You don't get up every morning and think, my God, this is going to be over. You just carry on and come up with some fresh ideas and think about what to do. So it's like a big business thing. And as long as we don't take it too seriously. Earlier on, we used to take it very seriously. And I think it got a bit too serious. And I just thought to myself, we should try and inject some fun into it, you know? So it's so that you don't, you know, you don't get too serious and too moody about it. So a lot of it. And I think sometimes that comes in, that goes through, gets into the songs as well. And get a bit of fun in there. And,
does the way have changed how you are together as a band? I mean, 10 years ago you probably stood all the time together.
Very true. Yes, it's sort of. Now we've learned to accept each other instinctively. You know what I mean? We know it's a kind of job, and we come together for, which is a good thing, because if we stayed together all the time, we'd get on each other's nerves and get. There was a time where there was a lot of friction, where we felt, but then we sort of ironed that out, and we we argue a lot, we fight a lot, but then in the end, what really is the key feature is that we must come up with some product and some good stuff, so we know. And I think we've used an intelligent thing. We don't get too. Because it's easy to get very egotistical and say, I'm the greatest and all that, and I'm not getting. It's quite a fight. And it's not easy. It's not easy because egos can run wild, and all kinds of things can happen. You have to kind of keep them down a bit and keep one foot on the ground. It's easy to sort of say I'm a big star and I want everything. It's very easy.
Do you think the values in the rock music scene have changed a little bit since the late 60s, early 70s? Maybe at that time the cliche of sex and drugs and rock and roll was...
Yeah, I think you get various elements always through it. There'll always be, as a kind of tradition, there will always be a change because the whole industry needs something like that. Every now and again you get a new phase and everybody... And then they get a bit too easygoing, and then somebody new comes in, and then everybody who's gone before says, we better make sure. And that's good. It's like getting a new, fresh injection. And I like that. It's good competition, and you need that.
Rock music, your show is a very visual show. Is the visual element more important today in the rock music, or has it just developed?
I think kind of visual element is always going to have to be there. It's a form of entertainment, entertainment takeaway. And I think there's no way, people want to be entertained in various ways. And one way I know they don't want to be entertained is for people to just come on and play their songs. Because they can hear it on the records and go home. I think that's why people try different things. It's all, and a lot of visual theatrics has always been there from any kind of theatre entertainment, like Gypsy Rose Lee, from Stripper. You've got to do something to strip or whatever. It's a kind of entertainment. So it's visual, it's got to be, So visual theatrics will always be used. All the greatest acts have used it in one way or other. Like Jimi Hendrix or the Stones, it has to be there. It's a form of entertainment. It's like plus. You do your music and then entertainment plus. And I personally I just like doing that anyway. I'd hate to go on stage and just sit and sing my songs. I have to move. It depends on each song. If there's an aggression in some song, I have to show it.
Last question. When you look at the Stones, they have their 20th anniversary this year.
Good Lord, is it 20 years?
Yeah.
Good luck to them.
So, can you imagine to get to the same age with your band?
Well, 20 years. Yeah. 20 years.
What's your comment?
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. I really, at this time, I wouldn't know. I think it'd be nice if people still buy records and if we still feel. So the most important thing is for us to feel, and I would hate to just do it despite, just because we want to do it to sell records or just to make money. If we weren't interested in it, I wouldn't do it, because at the moment I'm interested in doing this. If I lose that interest, I will go and do something else, because I feel I can do it. I like trying out different things, but at the moment, there's a lot within Queen that we all can do. So, and one day I will say to myself, I have done enough with Queen, I will try and do something else. So I couldn't tell you whether that can happen tomorrow or 2 years' time or another 10 years, but who knows? Let's wait and see.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Oh.
Thank you very much.
You can tell he's a very playful, just comedic dude. Dude's like a darling, like bruh. Very intriguing how he talks about how they took it so serious and everything was so serious, and you had to realize that it's probably also the pressure of the labels and trying to make #1 hits and trying to make sure that all the energy and time you put into it, that it was going to pay off. And at some point they probably realized, well, how about we just try to do the best we can and go from there. But it just seems so cool, so chill, playful, but you could tell also serious. So, man, that's crazy. Speaking of Rolling Stones, like, it's crazy. They go on tour like every year and like are the #1 tour every year. Like, I still don't understand how they are able to do that, but shout out to them. Yeah, best of Freddie Mercury, man. Great soul. Gone too soon, but like, comment, subscribe, share all the things. Peace.